Welcome back, dear students, to video number 3 for Standard 6 Science, chapter number 12, Simple Machines. In the previous video, we discussed a few simple machines like what's an inclined plane. Then we saw the working of a screw, and we discussed a wedge. Let us continue with the next type of simple machine, which is a lever. If you see this particular picture shown over here, this particular farmer is removing a large stone. So a farmer is using a strong crowbar to remove the big stone bogged down in the farm. Such a machine is called a lever. So if you see, he is using this particular crowbar. It's resting on a stone and he's trying to lift this particular large stone. So he's made this particular simple machine, and such a simple machine is called a lever. So a lever, my dear students, has 3 parts. And what are the 3 parts? Effort, load and fulcrum. I'll repeat since these are new to you. There's an effort, load and fulcrum. Let's see what these are. So you see this? This is a lever. On one side there's effort. On another side there's load. And here this particular part is fulcrum. So let's see what these are. The support at which the rod of the lever is rested is called the fulcrum. I'll repeat, the support at which the rod of the lever is rested is called the fulcrum of a lever. The lever rotates about the fulcrum. So if you see this part, the lever is rested at the fulcrum and it rotates about it. So this part is called as the fulcrum. The weight lifted by a lever or the force against which the lever acts is called the load. You see this particular weight is being lifted, or the force against which the lever acts, this is called as the load. So where you do the work, some work is being done, that part of the lever is called as the load. And this arm or this side or this arm of the lever is called as the load arm. The force applied on the other end of the rod to lift the load is called the effort. So if you see this part where we apply force so that this load is lifted, this part of the lever is called as the effort. The part of the lever from the fulcrum to the effort, this part then is called as the effort arm. So I'll repeat, this entire thing is a simple machine called as a lever. The place where the lever rests and moves about is called as the fulcrum, where some work is being done. And what work? Either force is being applied or the load is being lifted up. This part where work is being done, just a moment. Yes, this part where work is being done is called as the load. And this part where we apply force so that some work is done on the other side is called as the effort. So what are the 3 parts of a lever? Load, effort and fulcrum are the 3 parts of a lever. Now on the basis of this, a lever is divided into 3 categories. You can't say 3 parts, it's 3 categories. So let's see what's the first category of lever is about. So place a pencil on a table place a ruler on it at right angles with it. Add a paperweight on one end of the ruler. Press the other end with your finger to lift the weight. Which are the load arm, the effort arm, and the fulcrum of this lever? So this is what you're going to do. So if you're pressing your finger over here and the paperweight is over here, then the place where you apply force, that is the effort, where the paperweight is being lifted, some work is done. So that is the load. And the pencil where the lever rests, that's the fulcrum. Now go on increasing the distance between the paperweight and the pencil by 4 centimeters every time and see whether the paperweight can be lifted when placed at each of those distances. You can do this at home and see what do you find. As the effort arm becomes longer compared to load arm, less force is applied to lift the paperweight. Now, such a type of lever where effort is on one side and load is on other side and fulcrum is in between, such a type of lever is called as lever of the first order. So, such a lever is called as lever of first order. Let's see next one. Second one, the second type of lever, the picture shows how we use an opener to remove the cap of a sauce bottle. To remove the tight-fitting cap, the opener is rested on the cap and we apply a force on the opposite end of the opener to pull it upwards. The cap also gets pulled up as the opener rotates about the fulcrum. So if you observe this picture carefully, this is where this particular lever rests and moves. So then this part of the opener is the fulcrum of the lever. And this is where the work is being done. What work is being done in this case? Of opening the cap. So as I told before, wherever the work is being done, that part is the load. And this part is where we apply force. So then this becomes the effort. So this type of lever, my dear students, is the second type of lever where the fulcrum is on one end, the load is in between, and the effort is on another end. The third type, when using tongs, the weight or the load is at one end of the arms of the tongs. We apply effort in the middle of the arms. It means the effort is applied in the middle of the lever, while the fulcrum and the load are at the opposite ends. So if you see this picture now, this is where we lift things. So work is being done over here. We pick up things with the help of tongs, or we hold things with the help of tongs. So this is load. Pressure is applied in the center, or force is applied in the center. So this part is the effort and the lever rests over here on in your hands. So this end is the fulcrum. So this type where the effort is in between and fulcrum and load are at the other sides is the third type of lever. So we saw three types of levers. See, there are three types of levers depending upon the position of the effort, the fulcrum and the load. The first one, the fulcrum is in the center and load and effort are on the other ends. The second one, where the fulcrum is on one side and load is in center, My dear students, you have to keep this in mind. The load, work is done in the center. You know which example this was? The bottle opener, where we open the cap. So the load is in center is the second order. And the third order is effort is in center. This example was the tongs example, where we apply force or pressure in the center. So effort is in center is the third order. So these are three types of levers. First, lever of first order, lever of second order, and lever of third order. Some examples. The first class or the first order lever example is claw hammer. If you see over here, see work is being done. This is the fulcrum and you apply pressure over here. So this is effort. So this is claw hammer is one, and pliers. Work is being done over here. This is the fulcrum and you apply pressure over here. So this is effort. For second class or second order, the load is in between, force, effort and fulcrum at the other end. The first example is a wheelbarrow. So you put things over here, you lift things. So this is the load over here. This is the fulcrum and you apply force over at this end. So this is the effort. Nutcracker. So load is in between. The nut is in between. Force is applied here. So this is the effort. And here is the fulcrum. And the third class is, or the third type is third order. The force is in center, load is at one end, fulcrum at other end. So perfect example is human arm. If you see, a person is lifting something, so this is the load. See, the muscles pull the arm. Your muscles pull the arm. So force is applied here. So once again, your muscles pull your arm. So here the force is applied here and your elbow is the fulcrum. And the next example is tongs. You pick up things at this end. So this is load. You apply pressure over here. So this becomes the effort and this is the fulcrum. So these are examples of the three types of levers. We stop here. We will continue in the next video. Till then, thank you for watching. Have a nice day and please read your textbook.